Welcome everybody to the Hyperion Cup. It's week number 2, and we've got Paradise Aegis up against Frost Surge. Tonight, it's going to be myself, Mark's casting alongside Spooky. We got Oakley on production and observing. And Spooky, we back.
We're back. First cast of the year for me, not for you.
Well, but, first Overwatch cast of the year,
first
so
Overwatch cast of the year.
Yeah.
It's exciting, back with Hyperion, a new season. And we get to cast for the champions of the Hyperion Invitational Cup, Paradise Aegis.
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting. And if we could quickly go see their lovely team, because now we've got some wonderful overlays here. We're seeing a lot of the same squad return here. And so that makes me pretty confident in how they're going to be looking this season as well.
And I don't think it's really surprising. I think Paradise Lost is an organization that usually keeps their teams together. They really like fostering groups of players for a long period of time, especially for esports groups. A lot of these teams have been together for over a year, and really they found a lot of success. But on the other hand, Paradise Aegis, they didn't look the best in the Hyperion Invitational Cup, at least not in the group stages. Squeaking in, I think, in that third, fourth space into playoffs, and then just popping off, dude. Like, I think they won. Yeah. they won like every single map all the way through their playoff run, but it was a bumpy road to get there.
Yeah, it definitely was. And I do remember at the end of the Hyperion Cup, specifically going into playoffs, they did have a filler who was purple, but I think after a couple of games when they were just kind of on a win streak, they just decided to bring purple on a main time for the squad. And well, you can see that purple's in this lineup once again on a little bit of a flex role here. But regardless, we know that they're pretty happy with how the team's going to be looking tonight. So next up, we've got Frost Surge, which does compose of quite a few members of the Frost Nova team last time. But we do have a couple of new faces here too.
Yeah, a couple new faces, but I'm really looking at that DPS duo in the middle, Scaro and Ricey. I remember being really pretty impressed. I remember some big Death Blossoms coming out from Scaro to bring them to third, fourth placement in the Hyperion Invitational Cup. Obviously not quite as good as their opponents, but new season, new tournament, and it's a new place to make their mark. We'll just have to see what happens. I think Frost Surge, unfortunately, is 0-1, while Paradise Aegis 1-0. But I hear both teams are 1-0. So actually, we're actually going to have one team face their first loss today, Marks. And we're going to see if Paradise Aegis or Frost Surge can push up to that 2-0, make themselves a force to be reckoned with here in the Hyperion Open Cup.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, obviously, both of these teams don't want that loss, so it's going to be a lot coming in to this match. And it's only week 2, so this is still kicking off here. This is a good time for the new teams to test their roster, see what they can really achieve. And, well, we're going to be starting things out onto Busan, a classic control map to start this out. And, well, Spooky, how do you feel about that?
Busan's, it's control, and I always like starting on control. We've been in some tournaments where they don't, but I really do think it's nice to show exactly what the teams have in store. It's a little bit less set plays. It's a little bit more fast and loose. There are a lot of different points. There are a lot of different compositions that can work. It really lets players, I believe, play to their strengths rather than getting forced into any specific meta they may not quite want to play.
Yeah, it does allow, because all of the different points just have so much variety in how they're kind of designed. They do force out different compositions, which kind of lets the teams, see what could stick or what could go terribly wrong in some cases. But control maps are a great way to kind of suss things out before we begin here.
Yeah, who do you think's going to win, Marks?
Oh, man, you're really going to tie my hand like this? Oh, man. If I had to place my bets, obviously because of the last season of the Hyperion Cup, I got to go with Paradise. But that's not to say that Frost is not going to, surprise us here. Because once again, a lot of new players here, right?
Absolutely, yeah. A few old faces, a couple new ones. We'll see what they have. And, I mean, if you look out your window anywhere in the Northern, Eastern, United States, North America, anywhere, you might realize that Frost Surge is playing on a home field advantage. So,
All right, Mr. Freeze.
we'll see. We'll see if that helps their gameplay at all as they come out. Both teams running out with this 6-man kind of dive. Mirror compositions here on Busan Sanctuary. We're going to see who gets the first pick in this opening fight.
And already we can see just the pressure that both of these teams are going to be putting out right now. The hack's coming through, but not able to find any target. Purple tries to go in there. Going to get booped back immediately by that Lucio. No matter though, they're taking this brawl. Right now, Paradise having the little bit of an advantage. Purple goes in a little bit deep. Got the zappy gun though, and finally Scarrow takes him out of the fight. And now we can see Frost Surge just want to run this one in off of the back of the Reaper himself. Zura using the Coalescence as well, just for good measure to keep everybody nice and alive. And just like that, this should be Frost Surge's first cap.
Yeah, it might be Frost Surge being a little bit more comfortable in this composition, Marks. I remember Scarrow and Ricey playing this duo, Reaper, Sombra, probably in this exact composition. I know Scarrow actually prefers the Reaper in a lot of scenarios. But it's not surprising to me that they're able to perform so well and Scarrow getting the opening picks. Purple's almost up to this Primal Rage, but Ricey's coming up on the EMP, countered out by Average Size. Let's see who's going to pull the trigger first.
Yeah, Ricey's been an excellent Sombra, timing these EMPs so well. Doesn't look for the, well, obviously looks for the great plays, but also just kind of looks for the general ones. And look at that, gets immediately done. And that's going to be a 6-man EMP as Frost Surge are just going to be freezing Paradise where they stand. It's going to be an easy win for a team fight. Diva Bomb invested. Doesn't matter here. Scarrow just looking around for something. Hidden, trying to keep everybody alive. Get to that DPS Moira in here. Somehow Paradise are starting to potentially turn this around. We see Nodin have to pop the Primal as well. Lands right on top of Hidden. And just like that, this is falling apart as Frost Surge once again win out this team fight. But Paradise almost turned that one around.
Honestly, Marks, they were able to survive. But unfortunately, Hidden using the Coalescence after being EMP'd, they kept the fight going on long enough that Average Size actually came in to EMP a losing fight. So not only did you get a 6-man EMP'd, and lost the fight, you committed 2 super impactful ultimates into it, 80% left on the clock, and really nothing for Paradise Aegis to work with. Lucknack has to be huge with this Death Blossom, but there's hacks, there's beats, there's a defense matrix. It's not looking great.
No, it isn't. We can see Lucknack try to set up for a position here. Okay, gets hacked up. That's okay, we get to see the sound barriers online as well. Now Ricey goes with another EMP, another 6-man, and Scarrow uses the Death Blossom to counter it out. And right now, Paradise have nothing, as that's going to be an easy first round to win for Frost Surge.
Absolutely beautiful, and this, you know, Marks, this is triggering something in me. Like, I remember this. I remember Scarrow coming up with some big Death Blossoms. I'm like, oh yeah. Ricey was there on that Sombra, had the EMP ready to go. I think I remember why he so commonly got these 3-man, these 4-mans. It's because Frost Surge is very well coordinated. Their DPS duo able to get those ultimates at the same time, at the best places to come out. It's just fantastic.
It really is, and look at this, they're forcing Paradise to swap here. Purple, known for playing this Roadhog, really good with the hooks here, but it also looks like they're going to be going for a Pharah. What do you think about that, Spooky?
It's interesting. The core of this composition, the Hog, Sigma, the BAP, and some kind of hit scan is what they won the Invitational Cup with. Just this very aggressive, low defense, kill them before they can do enough damage to you. Except they've traded out kind of the Hanzo for the Pharah, and then of course you need the Mercy for that. That does mean they lose the Zenyatta here, but it looks like so far it is working out for them, but I'm worried if they'll be able to sustain this kind of damage without a Discord Orb.
Yeah, well, that first team fight, if you can even call it that, was because of Lucknack just pelting in those rockets. The Pharah Mercy combo really coming in clutch, but still, Frost Surge, they're going to be regrouping, figure out what's going on, and we see actually Ricey this time swapping onto the Reaper while Scarrow's going on cast.
Yeah, coming out to a much more close range comp, reminiscent of the classic Rush. No Mei, but you have the Reaper instead. It's going to be Scarrow trying to pop Pharah out of the sky, but Lucknack's playing safe.
And here we go. He's been on point. Lucknack already got one, looking for another while Purple finds Ricey. We see dueling immortality fields. Doesn't matter. Purple now going in aggressively. Maybe backing out here, but Winter and Noblin are kind of making this one work. Right now, Purple falling extremely low. And just like that, Frost Surge have turned this one around. Got to deal with this anti-air, or sorry, this air duo in the sky, but as soon as that gets dealt with, well, they're still able to flip the point around. Gotta be careful. Lockjack does have this barrage online. Tank's still remaining onto the point here, but they could flip this one around. Lockjack just continuing. Invest barrage. He's gonna get taken out of the air by Scarrow, but it's still an absolute brawl on this point.
Yeah, it's nobody cared about the Pharah until you couldn't afford not to, and now finally the spawns are coming back in. Luckily for Frost Surge, they were able to flip the point and get a little bit of percentage. Purple's like, yeah, give it back. And he goes ahead and rips the whole hog. But it's interesting, you know, Paradise Aegis running these different variations of the composition that won them the Invitational Cup, you know, just showing they have a little bit more up their sleeve than just a one-trick damage comp no one was ready for. They're showing different variations depending on the map and point they're on.
Winter, well, you're gonna get a refund on that mech because immediately just gets popped out of it. The window online as well. Bob gonna be committed onto the point. Doesn't matter though right now. Okay, Minneberg is gonna get taken out of the air here. Bob just absolutely ripping through Frost Surge. Nobody saw that average size. That Dynamite definitely hit its target, but just like that, team kill comes in for Paradise Aegis, and now they're gonna be holding on to that point, and it's looking pretty dicey for Frost Surge, sorry, right now.
Yeah, they've got to go fast if they want to touch the point. They have a lot of ultimates to work with here, and it's only going to be Lockjack's barrage, but he only has to get a couple!
Oh, and it's absolutely massive. The sound barrier does come in, but it might have been way too late. Let's see how this goes. Scarrow coming in right now. Use the Deadeye already, but still looking for a little bit of value, but they have to deal with this Roadhog. Gotta be careful about that hook. Misses it, but that's okay because Average Size is ready to clean up any of these misses. Now it's all up to this Cassidy, but it's one Cowboy against an entire team, and Purple takes them out. And just like that, Nodlin trying to stall this out onto the Wrecking Ball, but it's looking all but lost. Can't even get a little bit of momentum there because of all of the pushing around. Paradise Aegis, they're not out of this one just yet. They've just tied it up 1-1.
Yeah, great plays from Lockjack, just coming forward, making sure he can catch them coming around the corner. He knows they have to push in. He knows they're at an ultimate disadvantage. So, I mean, Barrage isn't the best ult in the world, but if you use it behind them, it'll work out.
Yeah, you got a couple of picks. That's what counts, right?
Yeah, I mean, he won the fight. He won the points. It worked out well enough. But now, finally, Marks, we're going to the premier close quarters. Every control point has one where you just lock in the Reinhardt and hope for the best. So we're going to see two variations of this rush kind of comp, a much more close range, damage heavy coming out from Frost Surge with the Junkrat, with the Zarya, than the more classic rush from Paradise Aegis with the Reaper instead of the Mei.
Yeah, I'm going to be curious to see how this one works out. I think I favor the Zarya just a little bit more to really deal that damage here, but Purple just getting so aggressive, runs in there. Already taken down to 192 HP, and look at this, Winter's just cleaning up on the back line. Oh man, Paradise Aegis, they're trying to make this one work right now, but they've got so much damage getting inputted as well. Meanwhile, Frost Surge just keeping nice and healthy, and Purple's stuck in a rock and a hard place. The window does come online, but it might be all too late. Scarrow going to be retreating as Frost Surge are going to have this first point. Ricey trying to stay alive right now, able to get the health back. Get me out of here, he says, as Capimino takes them out with a nice little sound gun. Now, just like that, Paradise Aegis, they have to get back into this. Got a man advantage here. Let's see if they want to press it. Looks like they will. Out goes the Fire Strike. Okay, they're not on point right now, so that's going to be a 3-point Average Size. Meanwhile, popping the Deadeye here. Gonna get the heals. Okay, just now watching up above, just in case someone does come through here. Now going in for the flank, throws in the stun grenade, finds two people, giving Paradise a little bit of a chance. Purple is kept alive artificially by that immortality field, but Frost Surge are coming up absolutely massive. These teams collided, and Frost Surge comes out on top.
Yeah, something absolutely broke there, Marks. Purple going in with the big shatter, but I don't think his team was behind him. Everyone got split up, and Frost Surge were able to capitalize on that. It looked like they didn't even have to really use too many ultimates. Maybe Nodlin landed a shatter as well, but now they're just able to hold the door very quickly coming forward. Winter's all the way charged up on the Zarya, and they have ultimates to spare.
Yeah, see, and this is why that Zarya pick just does so much damage, because once Zarya is nice and charged up, You gotta get rid of her ASAP, otherwise you're just gonna be dealing with, well, a Ghostbuster beam and taking you to the afterlife. So right now, Frost Surge feeling incredibly dominant here as they've got 50 on the board.
Yeah, I gotta say, the longer these fights go on, Marks, I think the more I favor Frost Surge, just with the AoE damage, with the Zarya, the grabs coming out, and they're comboing it here with the Doomfist ultimate, and Ricey's just going off. Ults everywhere here, Marks.
Goodness.
But it's all Frost Surge.
It is absolutely brutal is what that is. Frost Surge have frozen Paradise to their core. We saw Locknock pop the ultimate, trying to keep people alive, but there was just way too much damage. And now Paradise Aegis are on their last legs.
Yeah, Average Size going over to the Tracer just to touch. Lockneck going for the solo Pharah, no mercy here. Just gonna hope for the best, but
oh no!
Down this tire.
Oh no! Here it goes. Immortality Field inbound, but Capimino is not going to be covered by that at all. And already Frost Surge are lining it up. Regardless, a little bit of a back cap happened by the DPS coming in from Paradise here, as they're able to flip the point around. Right now, Lockneck just trying to stay alive, doesn't have that mercy pocket, so it's going to be very difficult to heal up. But Ricey's having a little bit of trouble here. Finally punches Pharah out of the air, and now Ricey's looking to make quick work of the rest of the members here. Hidden didn't even stand a chance. Hidden nowhere as Capimino flies off the edge. Oh, okay, he's not able to get back. Unfortunately, oh, he's able to get back. That's a sweet little mercy deck. But still, this is just brutal coming in from Frost Surge right now. The stall heroes are on for Paradise. They're trying to make this one work. Winter gets stuck, but has a little bit of a shield just in case. Also a grab online as well. Let's see when it gets committed here. Immortality Field online. Now they're just pressing them back. They don't even need their ultimates, as that's going to be the first map going to Frost Surge.
I've got to say, Marks, I can't remember the last time I saw Pharah get hit both by a Junkrat grenade and get killed by a Doomfist melee. Not the rocket punch, just the regular melee.
Just the other hand that's not in the Giant Gauntlet.
Yeah, no shame on Lockneck. I think he played fine. It was just a ridiculous series of events for all that to happen. We see that ultimate extravaganza there at the end, which really gave Frost Surge this win, really broke the back of Paradise Aegis. And so far, it seems like we've got a pretty good game going on, Marks.
It really does. Once again, hey, you asked me at the start of map number 1, which team do you think is going to be winning here? And I said Paradise, but Frost Surge pleasantly surprised me there. They looked really good on some of their team compositions. And honestly, Scarrow and Ricey, what a DPS combo, Spooky.
Very, very good. I'm curious to see exactly what these teams will come out with moving forward. I think Frost Surge, they look very comfortable on the compositions they've chosen to play so far, which are primarily rush comps.
Yeah.
Either the 6-man rush, the dive rush, as you will, with the Winston, Sombra, Moira, and the Reaper, as well as more classic rush, Reinhardt-based compositions, even if they're running something a little bit strange, the Zarya, the Doomfist, the Junkrat, it still plays the same way. It plays go fast, go hard, win. Yeah. Paradise Aegis, they've shown a couple different strats so far. They've tried to mirror the rush here and there. They've played more into their own personal style, which is, Lockneck on the Pharah. You got Purple on the Hog.
Yep.
Purple came in here as a Hog player. I don't know how practiced Purple may be on the main tank, and that was kind of the role they were playing more. Yeah, fulfilling. But it does look like we're going to have Purple sub out, so maybe a different strategy coming forward for the next map. But so far, Paradise Aegis, to me, one map Andy judging the whole game, the whole teams by a single map. But
okay.
Aegis, they look a little bit more flexible. I'm curious to see what Frost Surge will do if they can't just run forward and win.
Yeah, and well, the next map we have actually is going to be Havana. This was Paradise's pick here. But like you said, Frost Surge looked very comfortable on their rush compositions. And how does something like that factor into a map like Havana?
Havana's not a bad rush map, dude. Like you can hold some doors. It's been a little while, but you definitely, I'm sure everyone's seen some kind of competitive Overwatch map where the defending team just stands on the payload to start it out, just trying to hold those choke points of the spawn doors. So you can definitely make rush work, but it's maybe not the best map in the world, especially if the other team's ready for it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of very long sidelines where some kind of double shield with even a Hanzo could be very, very good. So we'll see exactly what comes out. I do think Frost Surge might go for these Reinhardt-based compositions and try and potentially hold the door or just continue to push their way forward. But Paradise Aegis maybe will opt instead to go over to perhaps a double shield composition. You know, you see purple coming out. We see average size coming out as well. So changing up the roster potential, you know, whenever you change up the roster, that always means you want to run something a little bit different. Booze coming in to fill that main tank role potentially means we might see some double shield.
And to be fair, Paradise have run this double shield composition before. They looked really comfortable bringing an Orisa into the lineup previously. So, you know, on a map like Havana, like you said, the long sight lines are going to be pretty good, but at the same time, it could be a little bit deadly because one of the problems of the double shield on a pure escort map is that, you know, sometimes you don't really touch the cart.
It's true, you know, it's very much you want to stay on the high ground. You want to get as long sidelines as possible. You want to get in as much poke damage as you can, especially against rush compositions who will be trying to take that space to move forward. And you want to break down those shields, break down some of that health barrier before they get on top of you. Long sight lines and standing on the payload don't always mix, so they're definitely going to have to make sure they find someone who's going to be able to go down and touch, because I've definitely seen matches and maps where a double shield composition is putting in the damage, putting in the work, winning fights.
Yep.
But they're not touching the cart marks.
Yep. We've seen it so many times before. They're winning the fights, but then the other team just inches the cart forward, and then all it takes is just one team fight loss, and then boop! Oh, hey, we've capped the point.
That's the point. Yeah.
And it's like, wait, what happened? They were winning. What's going on?
And it looks like we are going to see Frost Surge on that kind of rush composition. They're not going to be holding the doors, not with Scarrow on the Ashe and Antagonize on the Mei. They are opting for a little bit of long-range combat. We'll see if Scarrow will be able to push down the rest of the team. But instead, it does look like they're coming around. They're doing a 5-man close range, and they're just trusting Scarrow to hit their shots from across the map.
Yeah, look at this. Already the pressure coming in. Meanwhile, Scarrow just on the back line, just kind of booping them in, but it looked like it might work out for Frost Surge right now. They take out Miniber right off the bat here. Let's see, Paradise, they're looking for a little bit of an option here. Antagonize on this Mei as well, just kind of loading in the damage. Oh, hey, you don't get to go back to spawn, Booze. Well, I guess kind of, just 10 seconds away. And now Miniber swapping over to the Hog as well. Paradise, they're trying to just break free here, Spooky.
Yeah, I imagine they'd be able to. I do not like this composition for Frost Surge. If you're gonna be holding so close, why do you have an Ashe?
Zura?
And Zura's down. That's gonna be hidden, getting the big pick. You still have to watch out for that amplification matrix. Scarrow, he didn't like hearing what I said, but I think Paradise Aegis will be able to take away this one, Mark.
Yeah, they're slowly pushing things back, and Dragon Strike online as well. You see Nautilus have to back out completely there, which is going to give a lot of room. Brick wall just lining them up, clicking those heads. Next up has Scarrow in his sights, but unfortunately not able to secure that kill. That's okay. An arrow will do just fine, and Paradise Aegis they've got this show on the road.
Yeah, they're finally moving. Brick wall hitting a lot of shots, all the way up to 81% of that infra site. And it looks like the composition's going to stay from Frost Surge. They're going to continue to run this kind of long range, not long range, very close range, but with a single long range hero up against Brick Wall.
Well, you know what? Right now it's kind of working out. Cappadozer did find Miniber there, and Locknack now just trying to pelt these arrows in. You know, hope RNG helps out here a little bit, but can't find any of these picks right now. And Paradise are a little bit split up here. Regardless, though, their spawns are nice and close by, so hopefully this shouldn't do too much. Booze has the mines on a line for an opportunity. Gonna just take the high ground here. Just box Frost Surge inside. Now Frost Surge are stretching their arms a little bit. The bomb committed onto the point. Booze dropping the mines in the back line, going for the slam. Looking for a little bit of a target here, but Scarrow's Bob is just coming up absolutely massive. Get this robot butler a little bit of a raise. Because just like that, Frost Surge, they clap back in Paradise. There's only a Wrecking Ball left.
Do you think you need to pay robot butlers?
I mean, machines have rights too, right?
Robots. Maybe not in the Overwatch universe.
Detroit become human.
Maybe that's not quite correct. But still, Frost Surge, they managed to hold on. You've got Antagonized building up to this Blizzard. I'm not entirely sure who he's going to use it on. Minibur might be in trouble. Just get that dropped on top of him.
Oh!
Scarrow removed!
Oh! That almost hurt me feeling that shot right there. Now we see the Grav get tossed online. A Flux and a Dragon come out as well. Dragon got quite a bit of value here, but Paradise, I guess they're down to their last minute here. They gotta make something, and they gotta make something happen fast. Without that Baptiste, it's gonna be looking a lot more winnable for them. Dealing with the Mei right now. Antagonized tosses out the Blizzard, but Booze is still on this cart. No C9 today. Goes in for the slam, and the Mei is down. Now they just gotta deal with the cold, harsh winter coming in from Frost Surge, and just like that, they should be point number 1.
Yeah, they will be able to capture here, and look at that, Frost Surge, as soon as they're not taking the aggressive stance anymore, waiting for Paradise Aegis to come to them, they're the ones who lose the fight. Nodlin gets a pick, and Scarrow with the dynamite as well.
Yeah, but Booze and Brickwall clap right back onto it. They just got to deal with the Reinhardt Diva and Mei. They got their entire team here. Shouldn't be too difficult. Brickwall's literally just been plinking in damage. The Diva gets demeched. Zura going back as quick as they can, but finally Paradise Aegis get point number 1 as Locknack gets a little shifty 3k to close that point out. And, well, Paradise Aegis, they're still in this.
Yeah, the long-range DPS are happy to sit in the back and pump in the damage while Booze is able to keep the point alive. A lot of ultimates online. Brickwall is going to have the infra site. Probably the best point or the best part of the map here for it. And is going to be looking for that shot on the Scarrow, who continues to play this Ashe.
Yeah, I mean,
it's rushing forward, but Scarrow's just sitting in the back.
Yep, and, well, you know what? They're going to be meeting a dragon where they are right now as Locknack once again just tearing through absolutely everybody. And just like that, Paradise Aegis should have a pretty easy time to walk this one forward.
Yeah, I mean, great play from Locknack. You know that they're going to be rushing forward. You know that they're going to be taking that tiny quarter where you can actually get the most use out of the Dragon Strike. And now Frost Surge seem to be struggling a little bit. They can't even close to actually start, swinging the hammer, freezing some people up. They're struggling just to close the distance.
Yeah, this poke composition has been working fantastically. Scarrow a little bit scared right now. Able to stay alive thanks to Zura's Immortality Field. And look at that, Bob back onto the field. If I was Paradise, I'd be a little bit worried based on how things went last time. Needs a brick wall. Nodlin just went for an absolute across the universe charge and found a brick wall. And, well, completely slammed him. Frost Surge, they hold on at this point. 1 minute left for Paradise.
Paradise Aegis have to figure out exactly how they're going to approach this one. They're playing composition that'll probably thrive when it's split up, when it's all over the place, taking control of these sight lines. They have to watch out to make sure Frost Surge isn't able to pounce on someone who's split off from the rest of the team. And it looks like they're already trying to do that onto Minibur, but instead it's Frost Surge that's getting split up. But the big shatter in the back!
Well, and Nodlin's going for a ride, taking Locknack with them. Even though Booze found that pick, it's all good because the rest of Frost Surge are there and ready to clean this one up. 22 seconds left. This is looking a little dicey for Paradise now.
And Antagonize has the Blizzard. I'm not really sure what Paradise Aegis are going to do. Frost Surge can just hang out, chill around the cart, wait for this overtime to come down, and just drop the Blizzard on point. Someone has to be touching. It's guaranteed use of the ultimate.
Yeah, and here we go. Overtime has been activated as Antagonized falls down to Locknack. Absolutely just clutching things up right now. Has it yet another dragon, and the combo's coming through as well. This dragon is going to be having nothing but a feast. Watch out for that explosion there. Booze gets caught up. Scarrow falling down. And now Captain Mino going to be bringing one back into the fight here. We got to still deal with this Reinhardt and this Lucio, but it should just be cleaning up right now for Paradise. Regardless, though, people are starting to come back right now as Captain Mino falls down. This could be Frost Surge. The Blizzard gets invested in, and no one's ready to touch. It's Frost Surge. They shut Paradise Aegis down before point number 2.
Yeah, and things were looking so good for Paradise Aegis there, Marks. Locknack getting that opening pick really set the stage for them to come back. Like I said, that Blizzard really sealed the deal. We even saw it there at the end, but there was just really nothing you could do on this point in particular with a Blizzard around the card. you can't touch. It's really not going to happen. So Lockneck with the hero plays to open it up, but Paradise Aegis, they're not able to capitalize. They're not able to get the kills quick enough. And then Cabodozer, being one of the members to follow that speed boost, helps Antagonize get back into the fight. Blizzard comes down, a couple people get booped. That's it. That's point B. You're stopping there.
That's how you do it. Man, Lockneck has just been popping off this entire time. Right now, Paradise Aegis, when they're in a little bit of a sticky situation, well, Lockneck just kind of finds a 3K, and then suddenly they're able to clutch this one up here. But this time, Lockneck's going to be on the Pharah. I mean, this kind of works out given the fact that Frost Surge love playing this rush composition. But you know what, Spooky? I'm curious to see how this is going to go.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out. I do like the swap. Lockneck got a lot of very clutch moments, but I'm not sure was consistently putting in the damage he needed to, especially with your DPS duo being on Widowmaker. Not going to have a lot of consistent DPS coming out. So we'll see if this Pharah does a little bit better for them. But Scarrow wants to take the Widow duel.
Well, Scarrow's going to be looking for a DPS duel if they also find Lockneck in the middle of the air. Truck's good cover. But right now, oh, okay. Well, Brickwall wins that one out. That was Wrecking Ball flying behind the rest of the team here. Ooh. And taking off. What just happened there? Brickwall. Somebody needs to stop them, but once again, this long-range poke composition weakness is showing right now as, well, Frost Surge have gotten quite a bit of cart progress.
And Brickwall very comfortable on the Widowmaker. We've seen it before. We saw it all through the Hyperion Invitational Cup. The guy is very, very good at clicking on them heads.
And that's all you want from your Widowmaker. Cabodozer didn't even stand a chance. Gets absolutely crunched underneath this Wrecking Ball here. And while a couple of people are left, okay, Brickwall, you have to stop. Found Antagonize yet again. Now looking for another. The boop is actually going to make that one difficult there. But Frost Surge are able to get their teammates out. A Scarrow just gets taken out of the picture. I have a little bit of a tactical pause coming in here. For a second.
You know what it is. You know Scarrow. He's like, oh, there's something wrong. My mouse isn't working. That's the only way that could have happened. But, unfortunately, we are actually seeing a little bit of a lag spike from Winter. So they'll get that sorted out, and we'll get right back into this. But so far, Marks, Paradise Aegis, they're holding strong.
It's 100% just Brickwall. It's 100% just Brickwall. Just on this Widowmaker, we talked about the DPS duo coming out of Frost Surge, but you know what happens when you have a Widowmaker that kills the DPS duo before the fight even begins? There's just no fight.
There is no fight. You get 2 picks, and yeah, that's about all you need to do. Brickwall, check, did his job, and really is just performing incredibly well, which is really pretty important. If you look at this composition, it's not going to hold up well on the points. If Frost Surge are able to get across this gap without taking a lot of damage, they're just going to collapse on top of Mini-Burr and blow them up.
Yeah.
And then just keep moving forward. But as long as Brickwall is able to keep, and Lockneck as well, we can't deny that Lockneck's been putting in a lot of pressure. It's very hard for Scarrow to just sit and wait for Brickwall to poke their head out when you've got rockets just exploding all around you. But if these DPS can't get anything done, then there's no way that Frost Surge are able to close this distance, get on cart, and actually do anything. As long as these long-range DPS are just pumping in damage, pumping in limbs, pumping in kills, pumping in everything you could want from a damage dealer.
Yeah, and like that Pharah pick, in my opinion, is really important here because we see Scarrow, trying to take the Widow 1v1, but then suddenly has to flick up into the air because they're getting shot by rockets in the air. Meanwhile, Antagonize, is on this Reaper, gets pinged up a little bit from these rockets as well, has to Wraith out. Wraith is back in, and Brickwall just finds a headshot very handily. Like, what do? You just kind of take it. And then the tanks are left on their own because Cabodozer and Zura are trying to keep them up, but the damage is just not there. And, well, Booze and Mini-Burr are just kind of running all over them.
Yeah,
we are going to be...
damage definitely isn't there to deal with. Brickwall and Lockneck, who are always on these high ground positions, and that's why we're going to see Antagonize swap over to the Soldier pick, just trying to pressure Lockneck enough to potentially give Brickwall and Scarrow a fair duel, but we're going to have to wait another, 9-10 seconds. before you'll get a fair duel out of these two widows.
Yeah, well, brick wall. Wow, just absolutely shutting it down. This time they're opting to go in there. Scarrow, don't worry, we didn't see anything escaping from this Wrecking Ball, but there's going to be a Pharaoh Barrage in the back line as we see Nodlin go so deep in there. Has the window to keep him healthy, but it's just too much output damage here. And now brick wall in natural position, looking around. Have a little bit of a trouble with that Soldier 76. Poking and prodding here. Still though, hey, Frost Surge, they're able to get a little bit of distance here. Miniber coming on the back line, does have this Flux on line as well. Throws the rock out, but Winter is happy to just take that for free. Now Winter getting poked down here as well, and well, Paradise name stabilized here as Capimino is even going to be able to get the res online as well.
Yeah, but that is something they'll have to watch out for, Paradise Aegis. Miniber is the weak point of this composition, not by any fault of their own, but just by being a static hero who doesn't have the mobility of everyone else. Capanemo, Hidden, even Booze are going to have to keep an eye on their Sigma to make sure that they don't just get run over, because there's really nothing they can do once a Rhine or a D.Va get on top of them.
Yeah, the window's going to be dropped down right now. Going to get booped around here. Nodlin doing a great job of shielding things, but Cappadocia has already been taken out. Miniber bringing them up into the air, and what must rise is going to be fallen down. I messed that up, but I think you know what I meant. And just like that, Frost Surge are going to have to go back to the drawing board once again.
A minute left on the clock. Havana, this was Paradise Aegis' pick, and it looks like it falls directly into the compositions they like to play. Just very split up, a lot of focus on their damage dealers, getting the picks, and already Brickwall, Luckneck, they both have their ultimates ready for this next fight. And if Frost Surge don't come a little bit faster, this might be the last fight.
Here we go, they're storming their way in, and Foresight's going to be used. See Brickwall looking for something here, going to go to the high ground, and a barrage in the backline is antagonized, as well as Zura fall down completely. It doesn't matter, he gets traded back for 2 more. Frost Surge know that this is their last shot, and they're going to be running it down. Miniber falling down, just like this. Frost Surge are in a good position to stabilize a little bit, but they still have to deal with Lockjack up into the air. Unfortunately, D.Va and Tracer, not the best combination to deal with that. Lockjack finally getting pressured out a little bit here. Finally gets taken down by his antagonized. Running back with the legs here. Gonna have to deal with the Tracer now, but that's fine. We're going to be into overtime before this cap happens. We see the stall heroes coming out from Paradise. I still want to give this a run. Okay, the mines are going to be invested onto point here. Booze looking to make this one work. Gets taken out of the fight here before the mines are able to get too much value. But antagonized now popping the visor as well. Looking for easy picks. Looking in the back line, has a Mercy and a Tracer in front of him. That's going to be an easy first point for Frost Surge. I say easy, but it was a struggle all the way regardless. Frost Surge, the cap point #1.
Yeah, it took a while, but they finally managed to make it off the back of Nodlin and Cabodozer just going deep. Really not caring how many of their team died, how much damage they took, just moving forward, swinging the hammer. And it does manage to work out for them, and now this is going to be tough. Because now it's on Paradise Aegis to actually take back the cart. And that's not something this composition wants to do. They want to spread out, they want to find picks where they can get. They don't want to hold a position, they don't want to contest a position. They just want to kill everyone. Meanwhile, Frost Surge, they'll be very happy if Paradise Aegis tries to fight them on point.
Oh, Scarrow gets taken out first. Gonna be lifted up into the air, dropped down as well as Paradise. Well, they're able to stabilize, and now they will be able to get a little bit of cart presence here. But look at this, right off the bat, we can see how much distance Frost Surge have been able to accumulate here. They will be finally pushed back here, but still, this is looking a little bit dicey for Paradise Aegis. Meanwhile, Frost Surge just to have under a minute and a half left to make this to the golden box of glory.
Yeah, that was about as good as it could have gone for Paradise Aegis. They got the picks, they won the fight. They really needed, like I was saying, they really need to actually win the fight before they can stop the cart. They don't have much of a chance otherwise. Still, they burnt off enough time during point A that there's only a minute left on the clock. Winter being staggered out, and only a couple of ultimates online for Frost Surge. If Lockneck's able to get another big Dragon Strike, this could look very good for the Paradise team. And he has to know they're going to be grouped up together, but the sound barrier could force Frost Surge right through it, right on top of the team, and start swinging the hammer.
Here we go, Nodlin goes in for the shatter, does find one, Hidden gets taken out.
Big one.
That is an absolutely massive pick. gonna be less healing online. Brick Wall tosses out the Bob, but Frost Surge right now are cleaning up the rest. All right, Nodlin gonna give Bob the ye old charge treatment there. Finally, Bob is going to be retreating, but Frost Surge are in control of this cart once again. Paradise, they have to come in here and touch it. Hopefully they have Booze on this ball, but time is running out. Okay, here we go. Booze coming in to stall it out. Doesn't even get the slam down before Scarra shoots him out of the air here. Cart's still running things forward. Hidden finds Zura in the back line. Throws out the immortality field, but nobody touches. Oh, and just like that, Frost Surge. They win out map number 2. You hate to see it, Spooky. You really do.
But what can you do at that point, Mark? We've been talking this entire series that Paradise Aegis is not playing composition that wants to touch the point. Booze is the person who touches the point. If Booze is dead, no one's gonna touch the point.
Yep.
You don't have anyone fast enough, you don't have anyone bulky enough, you don't have anyone with enough sustain other than Booze. That's one of the main reasons that the ball is run in compositions like this, is to contest the point a little bit. Not only to harass the backline, but also just to touch here and there, because no one else is going to.
Yep. It felt like everything that we had kind of discussed, well, it kind of came to a little bit of fruition there. I don't know. That was kind of tough to watch, but still Paradise Aegis, they looked really in control of point number 1. You can tell that they were incredibly comfortable there.
Absolutely, Mark. It's like this is a close match.
Yeah.
It's 2-0 for Frost Surge currently, but both teams have been really giving it their all. A lot of very strong defenses coming out of Havana, fairly back and forth on Busan as well. But at the end of the day, it's only if both teams are very close, it's that one team that gets a little bit further. And so far, that's been Frost Surge in both of these matches. So it's really going to take a monumental effort for our reigning champions to come back into this game. Right now, Mark, they need a reverse sweep.
It's going to be interesting, but we're going to be throwing to a quick little break here, so don't go anywhere. We got more Frost Surge versus Paradise Aegis. Will Aegis perform the reverse sweep as Spooky has prophesized? That's the right word there. Well, you're going to have to stick around to find out. We'll see you guys in just a couple. Welcome back, everybody, to the Hyperion Cup. It's week number 2, and we've got Frost Surge up against previous champions of Paradise Aegis. Spooky, give us a quick rundown of the first 2 maps here.
Man, Marks, Frost Surge comes out strong, wins the first map. Paradise Aegis chooses the second map. Frost Surge comes out strong, wins the second map. Now we're in map 3, 2-0 for Frost Surge, but really, Marks, all jokes aside, all memes aside, this match is a lot closer than it actually looks from the scoreline. Both teams have really been giving it their all. It's just Frost Surge coming out a little bit on top each time.
Yeah, absolutely. When we looked at map number 1, which was Busan, well, Paradise kind of slapped on the second point there, but then Frost Surge won out once again. And honestly, on Havana, which was map number 2, it really looked like Frost Surge were not even going to be able to cap point number 1, which is actually pretty huge, until they were able to somehow bust things through. And just like that, Frost Surge are now up in the series 2-0. So Paradise Aegis, they have to win this next map if they want to continue this series. Otherwise, Frost Surge are walking home with a 3-0 victory over the previous reigning champs, which is absolutely massive. And Spooky, we've got our next map. We're going to be going to Blizzard World.
Yeah, and we are going to be seeing Purple coming back in, Booze going out, Booze coming in, playing the Wrecking Ball, seeming to be kind of a ball specialist for the Paradise team. Purple playing all the other main tanks, and of course, the signature Hog. But so far, Marks, it really does seem like this match is kind of a clash of styles, if you will,
Yeah.
with Paradise Aegis wanting to play very, very split up, having each individual member having a lot of impact, while Frost Surge prefers to play close together, play as a team, do a lot of these kind of rush compositions, and really just get Nodlin into the fray with the hammer swinging, with Cabodozer on the Lucio. Those seem to be the 2 mainstays, having Nodlin on the Rhine, Cabodozer on the Lucio. So they're really always playing kind of a very close-up rush composition versus Paradise Aegis, who don't really quite want to do that.
No, absolutely not. Paradise Aegis are more than happy to leave people all over the map, poke it and prod as much as they can onto Frost Surge. But looks like this time, well, Frost Surge are changing it up a little bit. They're going full dive here for Blizzard World. We see Scarrow on that Tracer, Ricey on that Echo, Nodlin, Monkey. I think this could be pretty interesting to see. We haven't really seen Frost Surge as a dive comp.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I wonder if they're going to be ready for this composition coming out from Paradise Aegis. I do think this is what they're going to end up running out on. This very dangerous composition, especially with Purple on that Hog. I think it's really going to depend on who is going to be able to take this first fight. If Paradise Aegis win it, I think they'll be able to snowball. But if Frost Surge are able to set up a good dive, figure out where they want to actually engage and who they want to take out, they might be in for a good hold, but this is not an easy comp to play dive into.
Absolutely not. Right now, Nodlin just zipping and zapping, looking for a little bit of damage here. Pressure down some of these DPS. We've seen Brickwall just do absolutely massive things. Nodlin not even going to get a chance to escape. Tries to hop away, but Purple just yanks him right back. And now, hey, this might be the momentum that they need. We see Paradise Aegis start to take a little bit more of an aggressive hold here. They're going to be moving things forward. Locknack finding Scarrow. Absolutely massive. Locknack really popping off on the Hanzo on the last map as well. This continues forwards here as Purple's Hog is just, well, pulling the entire team away from the point. By killing them, of course. Still, we see the Saw Heroes come in here. Nodlin trying to make this one work, but gets hooked out anyways, and Ricey's trying to do something, but now it's all up to the supports, and just like that, well, this probably is going to be point number 1 here for Paradise, and, well, let's see if the snowball starts rolling.
And I think watching that first death from Nodlin really describes Paradise Aegis' comp very well. Nodlin looking left, he's looking right, he's like... Like, everyone's a threat. You cannot keep your eyes off of anyone for a second, or you're gonna get dynamited, you're gonna get storm aired, you're gonna get hooked. That's exactly what happened. So, they really have to find an early first pick, but instead it's Paradise Aegis.
Yeah, here we go. Frost Surge are kind of winning this one out right now as they got all the picks that they need, and sure, the respawns are going to be nice and close for Paradise here. But, uh-oh, look out for Ricey's Hog, and just the whole Hog, just for good measure here. Still, a lot of ultimates committed into that fight, Spooky.
Yeah, there's a GMO joke in there somewhere with the whole hog, but never mind. Alright, meanwhile,
Everyone
it's gonna be it's gonna be Paradise Aegis pushing their way forward. They're the ones with the ultimates now, Marks. And I imagine they're going to be popping them soon. Brick wall with that Bob. We've seen a lot of big Bob plays coming out so far, but we've also seen a lot of big Dragon Strikes. Two ultimates that don't always get a whole lot of value, but so far. But you don't need ults if you get a hook.
Yeah, now we're seeing a couple of ults come in here, but just the supports for now. Having me know as well as sound barrier. Uh-oh, Monkey's whacking people around. Lockneck gets caught up in the self-destruct. This is Hidden just gonna get absolutely bunched underneath that neck. And now, just look at this, Frost Surge. They're gonna win this one out here, Spooky.
Yeah, man. Damn, Marks, maybe Paradise Aegis should have used more ultimate. Unfortunate for them, and it's just really Frost Surge just putting the pedal to the metal, going back to what they know, which is just rushing forward. As soon as the things start to go against them, they just find the target, they call for it, and they collapse. It's working out well for them, but Paradise Aegis now strictly with the ult advantage. They're going to be looking at where to put it down. Miniburr with this Critic Surge to come out big.
Okay, here we go. The whole hog kind of mistimed with the Surge. Fortunately pushed a bunch of people out, but it doesn't matter because Paradise Aegis are going to capitalize off of that one. The best use of ultimates, but as long as you win the team fight, I guess it's okay here. You're gonna have to deal with a couple of pesky members left in the back. Purple is looking for this hook right now. Sees Nodlin. Uh-oh, the shotgun got all caught up in that giant shield there. Thankfully, a little bit of health is gonna be coming through. And now Paradise Aegis have gotten quite a bit of progress here. Still, Frost Surge, they're all split up right now, which is not the most ideal scenario here. Scarrow dueling off against Ricey. Stuck up by quite a few there. Ricey going in deep on the back. Azura pops the Coalescent. Really wants to take this hog out of the fight. Is it going to be able to do so? Looks like that's going to be the case. As Frost Surge turn this one around and are able to stop the cart before point number 2.
Man, that's a great play from Frost Surge. Just able to keep members alive long enough for the rest of them to come back. Really just great play. The Bob comes out, but it won't last very long as Ricey comes out of that ultimate. And now, this is one of the worst places in the entire game for the payload to get stuck, Marks. It is very, very hard for the attacking team to retake this position and push forward, but blowing up Nodlin's a good start.
I don't think Nautilus actually been playing this game right now because every single time they engage, immediately gets taken out. Sound barrier online, Window as well, looking for a hook. Purple finds yet again another one. Winter investing the self-destruct in the back line as a Bob is actually going to be invested in as well to clear up Winter out of that mech form. And now Paradise Aegis walking this one forwards. Still, Ricey has his duplicate online, almost got taken out of the air there. Thankfully, teamwork does in fact make the dream work. The whole hog getting popped by Purple. Push him back just for a hot little second here. Now looks for the hook. Unfortunately, just misses the Moira there. Purple on the retreat now, as Lockback has a Dragon Strike online as well. Looking for an opportunity to use it. Winter takes Miniburr out of the flux. Now Lockback getting pressured down, able to escape out of here, but this team fight's not looking pretty dicey for Paradise right now, as they're just getting divin upon. And look at that, a Coalescent's gonna come in as well. Purple trying to stay alive, but there's just too much frontal pressure there. Immortality Field wasn't even up for a second. And just like that, Frost Surge have driven Paradise all the way back to their spawn.
And time again, Marks, Paradise Aegis, usually Purple, get the first pick in these fights.
Yep.
They find someone, it's been a variety of people, they just managed to hook someone, take them out, and then nothing. Frost Surge just push forward, they're able to find like 3 or 4 picks at once, and now we see Ricey pushing forward with the duplicate. Doesn't matter how many heroes you swap to, the Reaper, the Torb aren't going to do anything about this, and Frost Surge just pushing their way forward, and the coordination I think is really was giving them the win here. They seem much more comfortable playing together as a team, that even when they're down 5v6 maybe, they're able to just collapse upon members of Paradise Aegis. Brick wall all the way in the back just because he has to touch the point here. And yeah, they're onto him.
Oh, this is going to be dicey. Trying to stay alive right now. Finally gets taken out. Window to drop down as well. The Amplification Matrix trying to keep people alive here. Still, right now, Paradise Aegis did find Azura in the back line there. They have a little bit of momentum in them yet. Okay, Capitals are falling down as well. This might work out for them. Winter says no, pops out Purple. Nautilus using the Primal.
That's enormous.
Finds 2. And just like that, it's all fallen apart as Paradise Aegis completely stopped by Frost Surge before point number 2 yet again.
Yeah, I don't think we've gotten a chance to say their name very much, Marks, but Winter was absolutely the MVP of that round. Winter
100%.
just coming up again and again on the kill feed, especially being the opening kill after one of the members of Frost Surge had already fallen. So even being in that 5v6, it's Winter finding these picks, of course supported by the rest of the team, but it really does seem like Winter is able to dive forward, get some of these picks that really are able to keep Frost Surge in it time and time again.
Yeah, and also too, Nautilin's doing a great job of using that ultimate as well. The Primal Rage, as we know, pushes people around. And comboed with Winter's Diva Bomb, oh my goodness, that self-destruct has been consistently getting 2Ks as these fights have been going on here. So great job, great coordination coming out from Frost Surge right now. We talked a lot about the DPS there, but that time it was all Winter and Nautilin. Still, Paradise Aegis, they're not out of this just yet. They could full hold them here, and looks like we're going to be seeing a little bit of double shield busted out.
Yeah, they are going over to more of a bunker-based composition, but I don't know, Marks. Paradise Aegis doesn't really, this is not a team that screams bunker to me, like, but maybe it will work out for them. You've got Brick Wall on the hit scan, you have Locknack back over on the Hanzo, you even keep Capanemo on the Mercy just to be able to res up anyone who might fall during that fight. We're going to a little bit of a pause. Zura is now lagging, but hopefully we'll be back in it soon enough.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
double shield, Marks.
Double shield. It's honestly, with how the DPS have been playing, I think this is the best way to support them. But once again, you do run into a little bit of an issue with touching the point. Thankfully, point number 1 is a little bit more flexible because, it's very static. You can very much just bunker in on point number 1. But still, all it's going to take is one real good team fight. And, well, it could fall apart for Paradise.
Yeah, and I'm already really liking the composition coming out from Frost Surge. Back over on this kind of 6-man dive with Scarrow actually on the Tracer this time. I think this is a great composition for busting open the bunker. It really just gets in there incredibly fast, has the vertical mobility, and of course, if not all else fails, you will have that EMP coming out from Ricey. So Paradise Aegis, they're going to have to watch out. These DPS are going to need to hit their shots because even bunkering up on this high ground, this composition from Frost Surge are going to be on top of them in a second.
And here we go. Look at this. The speed coming through, and they're just getting collapsed upon. Purple, the last one to back off there, but Scarrow already found Captain Nemo. Just like this, the bunker's looking a little bit scattered right now, just fighting to stay alive. Winter able to back off, get some healing there, but Purple and Hidden have taken 2 out. Ricey trades it back onto Locknack. Still, though, looking around for an opportunity as the bunker gets reset onto the point right now. A great rotation, initial rotation coming in from Frost Surge, but looks like it was all for done just for now.
Still, Frost Surge have a lot of positioning now. They don't have to make their way over all that space, and Paradise Aegis are just trying to get back onto the point. Scarrow almost has this pulse bomb, and the dives are coming in onto this backline.
Oh, Nautilin just gets absolutely melted, finds grenades right into that monkey brain right there. Scarrow getting pressured down as well as Minibur finds the kill there. Now, we're going to be seeing Winter get remech'd there. Brickwall had to be careful, almost got crunched himself. Regardless, Winter just going to be flying away out of this mech. And just like that, Paradise Aegis, they're still in command of point number 1.
Yeah, they managed to hold on. It's dicey. It's scary, but they do take this one. Winter has to go over the edge. Brickwall just getting that last little bit of ult charge. And now Paradise Aegis are in a great spot economy-wise. They have all the ults they'll need to use. The Tac Visor can do a lot of damage here if Winter's not ready for it. They're going to build up to their tank ultimates as well. 2 very strong ults. Dragon Strike, maybe Lockback will figure something out again, but none of that matters if Ricey gets the CMP off. And that should be what Frost Surge play towards.
Ricey's already in a position Sees everybody here. Now we see them come in here. Ricey goes for the manual hack first. You can already see the team scrambling here as the Orisa's going to be falling down. Everyone's going to get left.
The gravitic surge.
Oh, it's going to be out of sight here. Ricey gets taken out though. Brick wall. Great reflexes to pop the attack visor right there. Dragon going to be committed onto point as well. Scarrow in the back line. Putting the pressure on here, but the DPS from Paradise are able to win this out. Coalescence was online, but hey, this is still looking all right for Frostage right now. Scarrow absolutely turning that dial to 12, putting that one out, and they're going to get point number 1 for their trouble.
Man, what is up with Lockneck and absolutely clutch shots, by the way? I mean, Frostage, they're able to take that fight, but they would have taken that fight even harder if Zero was the Coalescent. Lockneck just absolutely popping off. In these high pressure situations, it just doesn't quite work out for Paradise Aegis there. And now Frostsurge, they don't really have too far to go, and they'll be taking a 3-0 victory over Aegis. The supercharger from Purple really has to solidify the position of this bunker comp.
Here we can see Purple is already a little bit scared, looking in all sorts of different directions. Got to make sure that shield is up. Watch out for that Lucio riding just in the back line. Now, Paradise Aegis getting poked left and right. Still, the cart is open, and look at all of that progress right now, Spooky.
Yeah, it's coming down. One good fight could decide it.
Whoa.
Frostsurge going in with a bomb. They have the barrier as well, if they need it.
And Lockneck finds Zura yet again. An absolutely clutch shot. Lockneck already back up to yet another dragon. Able to consistently pump out this damage. The supercharger is going to be dumped in as well as Purple. Looking for damage here. Going to be moving in onto the cart. And they're just going to be sweeping things up right now. Brick wall absolutely just pumping inconsistent damage for the rest of the team. Scarrow falling extremely low. Finally gets taken out by Lockneck. Who else? Paradise Aegis. They're still holding on to things.
Yeah, it's a stronghold. They managed to keep their positioning well. They go back onto the high ground, but still, Marks, that's the problem with double shield. This card has made a lot of progress. One good fight, and it could be over, and that is what Ricey is looking for with this EMP. I'm already expecting that Brick Wall is playing in the back, hiding around the corner to actually be the counter to this EMP with the tactical visor, just to cover the rest of his teammates as they recover from the hack.
Okay, amplification matrix. Drop down Frostsurge to say.
Frostsurge, you're on the attack, by the way.
Yeah, we can hang out back here. We've seen them do this multiple times. This isn't uncharacteristic of them at this point, but they're looking for an opportunity to bunker bust things. Probably waiting for Ricey to set that up. All right, now we see the engagement come in. Ricey isn't even in position here, but out comes the EMP, and it's going to be absolutely massive. Minibur, though, did find Nautilin. The front line of attack is going to be falling down there, but Brick Wall is ready to capitalize on top of that. Completely turn things around. The EMP did not get as much value as Frostsurge had hoped. Paradise Aegis, they stop this one for now, just have to deal with Scarrow on the point. They got to make sure that they don't get any more cart progress here. And as Scarrow falls down, Paradise Aegis are going to be more than happy to plant themselves back onto the high ground. Still, you see Frostsurge continuing to push forwards here. Nautilin extremely close to this primal range, but gets taken out by Lockneck. Lock cracked, more like it. Now Lockneck also has this dragon online and is keeping Frostsurge at bay just by themselves here. All right, this is going to be potentially last fight territory here, Spooky.
It's not looking good, man. Winter's out of mech. The ult advantage is very solidly in favor of Paradise Aegis. They're going to have the rally as well as this tack visor. Nautilin is going to have to get up here on the Winston, use the Primal Rage to hopefully knock everyone around, and maybe buy enough time for your DPS to build up to an ultimate, or even for Winter to get another huge bomb. This is the last fight here, and Paradise Aegis holds all the cards.
Okay, the dragon is going to be invested on site right now. Nautilin smartly using the primal rage just stay alive. Is going to be just going for Brick Wall here, able to escape, but finds Winter right off the bat. And just like that, Frostsurge, they might have just won this one out here. Self-destruct committed onto the cart here as we see that Minibur gets taken out of mech as well. Now this is all coming up. Huge for Frostsurge. They've got a couple of ultimates still online. They're trying to push this one forwards here. Have the amplification matrix. Hidden has to go on the attack. Does find Scarrow here. See if they can keep him alive. Captain finds Cappadozer as well. Immortality Field thrown onto the back here as Lockneck once again popping off, putting in the damage, and Paradise Aegis looks like they've been able to stabilize here. Not a second too soon. 2.28 meters on the board. But they will win this one out as they're able to hold Frostsurge off.
But man, Marcus, that is all on hidden. Just being hidden. It seemed like nobody was looking in his direction. He was able to just get the healing, get the damage done from the back of the cart, just pump in all of that, and manage to hold off Frost Surge at the last moment. We do see Winter getting the play of the game, and honestly, Marks, this whole map felt like the tale of the Frost Surge or tank duo in Noglin and Winter, who both put on really strong performances, just not quite enough to take this match. And Marks, a reverse sweep starts with one win. It always does.
You're not wrong in that statement, but at the same time, it's like, well, yeah, of course, man. But regardless, like you said there, Frost Surge, just as a team in general, just feel really coordinated, right? But
Absolutely.
straight up, Locknack from Paradise Aegis. Oh man, I don't want to say that a single person is responsible for a win on any sort of map there, but Locknack really popped off there. Was able to shut down so many ultimates coming in from Frost Surge, finding those opening picks onto the back line just on this Hanzo. It was incredible to watch, honestly, and I do think that Paradise Aegis were able to win because of Locknack's performance right there.
Yeah, and it's interesting about this DPS duo from Paradise Aegis because when they're on, they're on.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
These guys have hit peaks
yeah.
that you normally wouldn't see in a match of maybe this caliber. You wouldn't expect to hit those kind of shots unless you're like GM, unless you're like tier 3, contenders, so on. But this DPS duo from Aegis just managed to do it. But it's not quite consistent because there have been times where these guys, the only ult they're charging is the passive charge.
Yep.
We've seen it here and there, but it's very much a trade-off. Sometimes these guys are just going to pop.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're hidden there. So definitely an interesting DPS duo from Aegis, but if you can build that consistency a little bit more, this team's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with. And maybe a little bit of that's coming back right now, Marks.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, like you said, reverse sweep always starts with one. Well, we have selected our next map. It is going to be Hanamura. So, curious to see how this one is going to go. This is Frost Surge's pick here. And given that they like playing close quarters combat, I think we're in for a little bit of a treat here, Spooky.
We're also seeing Antagonize come back in. Antagonize having played the May on Havana. So
a lot of antagonizing.
Yeah, a lot of antagonizing, a lot of very frustrated players on Paradise Aegis coming in. But, Marcus, Hanamura is also a very good map, I think, potentially for Paradise Aegis, especially that first point where you can put Locknack on the Pharah and just pump in damage. You can play this kind of very distributed composition where you're all over the map. And you don't exactly have to play super close together. So I can really see this map going either way if both teams really lean into what we perceive to be their strengths.
Yeah, that's definitely true here. Going to be very interesting to see how this one is going to be playing out right now. Like you said, Antagonize is going to be back in here, but I'm curious to see what Ricey is going to be playing because, well, we saw Ricey playing Sombra on the last map, found absolutely massive EMPs, but it looked like Paradise were finally able to figure out a counter there. So right now, Paradise Aegis, they're figuring out their strategy. They're getting into their comfort picks. Obviously, we talked about the DPS duo, one after the other, just kind of being like, fine, I'll do it myself. But regardless, they're like, once again, the consistency needs to be built in there a little bit more because they do also have a really good tank line as well. And like we said, we highlighted Hidden at the end of that fight there. The Baptiste says, okay, I guess I'm a DPS now. I'm going to be using this BR to try and find as much value as I can. And it worked out for them. But still, Frost Surge, they're very coordinated and they look really good, honestly. So it's still a little bit of a challenge here for Paradise Aegis. But you know what? We could be going to map number 5, Spooky.
Yeah, I really think we might because, Frost Surge, they're going to be running some kind of rush comp. Either they're going to be running, the Winston 6-man dive kind of thing, or they're just going to be running more of a classic Reinhardt rush. And I really do think this is an opportunity for Paradise Aegis to come out, put Locknack on the Pharah, which I think has been his most consistent DPS hero, and just start to take them apart from the sky. I really do think the FAR has put a lot of good results out for this team so far. You know, just play the comfort picks, really. Put Brick Wall on whichever hit scan they might like to play, Perps on the Hog, and just pump in damage from all sides as this team tries to push their way onto the point. You know, it's kind of high risk, high reward, but I think that is going to be how Paradise Aegis are able to take this one away and push us to the map 5, especially on a Frost Surge map.
Yes, yes. And that's a very important factor here because Frost Surge could look really good here, you know. We're obviously expecting them to come out on a little bit more of a rush composition, you know, with a Reinhardt, with a Mei. And like you said, if Paradise does decide to bring a Pharah out, it's pretty hard to hit a Pharah with icicles or a rocket hammer. So I understand your point there, but you never know. Frost Surge might come out with something different, anticipating that Paradise Aegis might make that play because, well, like you said, it worked out really well last time when they had these long sight lines. So I'm curious to see what they're going to be busting out here and how Frost Surge might adapt to Paradise's adaptation.
Just, I mean, that's the name of the game. You know, that really is
counter pick. Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about all these quick flicks and, you know, movement and mobility and everything like that, but it really is the mental game. Like, how do you keep up with what the enemy's doing? How do you counter it? How do you decide when you want to throw away your ultimate to go to a different hero? So on, so forth. I think we've blabbered enough, Marks. I think both teams are ready, and we're ready to get straight into Hanamura. Again, expecting, or I'm really hoping for a Pharah-based composition coming out from Paradise Aegis here. Especially on their defense. It does look like Aegis are going to be on the attack first. But, you know, Pharah could still work. It's a little bit tougher. I'm not sure I'd actually like it, honestly, but I definitely... At the end of the day, you know, you need to get something going on your attack to have a good defense if they don't want to be playing for that draw. So definitely a little bit more pressure maybe on Paradise Aegis in that they'll have to be running multiple compositions. But already it looks like they want to break out the classic.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't really blame them for that decision. Meanwhile, can I just say I'm a little bit... I don't think confused is the right word here, but we are seeing a very different composition coming in from, well, hey, Frost Surge. They're changing it up on us.
Yeah, honestly, if you had told me that these teams were switched, I would have believed you. If you would have said that Paradise Aegis were running the ball comp and Frost Surge were running the rush, I would have taken that no questions asked because that is how this entire match has run so far. So we're seeing a new look from Frost Surge. Seeing them over here on this Ball Sigma composition, a much more damage heavy as well with the Baptiste and the Zenyatta. Paradise Aegis, straight to the point.
Oh, here we go. Nautilin trying to stall out the rest of the remaining members, but it's all but too late. The bunker is set up through the car wash. And look at this, Paradise Aegis have just stormed their way onto point right now. They've already got a tick on the board here. He's just swinging the hammer around, trying to clean up any collateral damage. Looking to get a little bit more value here. Ricey had to back off there. Going to get walled off, but now is open on site. Has to watch out there. A lot of, well, DPS in the backline, but look at this. Frost Surge, they come through. Nautilin just really paving the way there, allowing Antagonize and Ricey to do what they need to do. And just like that, you know, they still got 2 ticks, but Frost Surge are able to hold them back for yet another minute.
Yeah, it's Antagonize coming up big on that Hanzo roll. Just really pumping in the damage. Pretty much has lapped most of his teammates on ult charge. Only Ricey managing to really keep up with them. But still, 2 ticks out of that is really pretty good.
Not at all.
Yeah, honestly, I don't mind running this composition back. You already know that Frost Surge aren't really running anyone who can contest you on points. It took them 2 ticks to take it back. So just get back on point. Oh, Booze. Booze, you can't fall down like that, buddy.
A little bit of a stumble, but it's okay. Paradise Aegis are back on the roll forwards here. Hey, always check your corners. It's going to be important. Now there's a big dragon flying through the rest of the team. Can make things a little bit more difficult. Thankfully able to avoid it. Still have that wrecking ball onto the back line here. Ant Matrix dropped in front, trying to use that to their advantage to keep people healthy here. Brickwall did find Antagonize in the back, so this could leave an opening here. Hidden gets stuck. Oh, tries to jump away from the team, but it's all too late here. without that healing, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So now it's just pure fragging coming in from Paradise Aegis. They got to make sure to clean up the rest of the members and not lose too much HP. But hey, they cap point number 1 here, so they're more than happy to take that one out, as they have a massive time bank.
And their ultimates aren't half bad either. Gonna go continuing to use the Symmetra. You have the Photon Barrier. It looked like they wanted to teleport across the left side, but instead they run it back, decide to just run it down main. They're gonna be going in with 2 tank ults and both DPS holds. Transcendence can only block so much, and not much else coming out to counter this from Frost Surge. This could be a snowball from Paradise Aegis.
And here we go. They're going to be lifted up into the air. Right now, Winter just prodding them on the rotation there. But we see the self-destruct come in on the line here. Not going to find anybody there, but Maneuver going to be hopping back in as Antagonized did find a lockback. That's going to be a blizzard out of your pocket. A lot of mines on point, but it's okay. Booze has a nice big shield to deal with that one. And Frost Surge, they're able to win this one out here. A very expensive fight coming in from Paradise Aegis.
Yeah, they just throw everything at that. I'm curious to see if they'll stick on these heroes. It doesn't look like it. Brickwall going over to the Cassidy and back to the Symmetra. So maybe they do. They're not quite done with this yet. Going potentially for another kind of teleporting play. We saw it on the high ground where they, came up on the right side, teleported over to the elusive high ground. But this time, they're not just running down main, they're teleporting.
Yeah, this is a little bit faster than running, in my opinion here. But Ricey had his ultimate eaten. Now a Blizzard on the point as well. Watch out, a Dragon coming through Brickwall. Able to just stay alive thanks to that Immortality field there. And the trades are coming in right now as Capadozer finds Brickwall. Capadozer just up on the top, just pumping in the damage right now. But look at this, Minibur gets demeched. Oh no, it's falling apart right now for Paradise Aegis. Still, they are on this point. They have 2 ticks here. Someone needs to come in to touch, and it looks like they are going to be able to get Nautilin back on as they slowly turn this one around. Just have to deal with the Mei and a Lucio. But Antagonize on that Reaper, more than happy to just pump in the damage there. Frost Surge, they stay alive, but Spooky, that was extremely close.
Yeah, and Paradise Aegis are playing a similar style to what actually won them the first point. Understanding that the composition they're up against can't actually hold the point very well, they decide they'll just teleport there and see what they get out of it. And they almost got a point capture. But finally, Frost Surge are like, okay, we cannot play like this anymore. We have to play something that can meet them, that can match them. And now it's Dueling Rush.
Yeah, look at this. Oh, pressure on the high ground once again. Antagonize on the background with the Reaper. Trying to pump in damage there. Amplification Matrix gets tossed out as well. Hidden, trying to just pump in damage. But an Earth Shatter comes through and Nautilin finds Hidden with the Fire Strike. Self-destruct launched as well as Minibird finds Antagonized and takes Winter out of the mech here. Just like that, Paradise Aegis, they're going to run right over the rest of Frost Surge to clean things up. They just need to touch a little bit more, and just like that, that's going to be round number 1. A very healthy time bank going in on round number 1.
Yeah, just a hidden Q there at the end. Just a little bit of the benefits of being on that composition for so much longer. But yeah, great plays coming out of Paradise Aegis on the rush composition. That's exactly what we like to see. But I don't think they're going to stick on this. Something we haven't mentioned yet is that Perps is actually out. Booze is back in, and the only time we've seen Booze in is to play that Wrecking Ball. So potentially we will see a similar defensive setup from Paradise Aegis as we previously saw by Frost Surge. In my opinion, Paradise Aegis will be a little bit better at it.
Yeah, Paradise Aegis definitely feeling a lot more comfortable in that pick here, but they didn't look half bad on that rush, and well, it looks like they are going to be doing something a little bit unconventional. Spooky, can you try to break that down for me?
Do you want me to start with the double main tank or the lack of a mercy with the Pharah?
You know what? Hey, it balls in your court.
It's something for sure.
Creative. How about that?
Sure. It's inventive. It's creative. It might be some kind of counter to a teleportation strategy. Just looking like Winston Reinhardt are best in places where you can get the maximum value out of the cleave, so very close quarter situations. If you're ready for a teleport to come down, you can get both of these main tank heroes as well as the far damage just all coming down into the same place. And it looks like that's what they're going to do.
Here we go. Frost Surge using a page out of their book, able to move things on here. And look at this. They've already got a point. Nobody's coming in to contest it, despite the fact that they have two main tanks. There's too much frontal pressure coming in right now. As Booze falls down to antagonize, Frost Surge are more than happy to just keep this one rolling. Hey, Shields, that's not going to be too much of a problem for Antagonize, as they're speed running point number 1, going to clean up the rest of them. Right now, Frost Surge looking to speed run potentially point number 2. Lockback using the barrage up into the air.
Is ultimate, but
does get a little bit of damage there, but yeah, 6 minutes on the clock for Frost Surge right now.
That's a lot of minutes, Marks.
It's you know, that's
yeah. I cannot tell you why. I cannot tell you why Mini Burt wasn't on the Steva in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't know why he'd run the Winston. I have not an earthly clue. I guess you can get rid of the.
What about a spatial clue?
It does look like it's going to come back to bite Paradise Aegis, unfortunately, but Frost Surge, they built up the ultimates. Locknack using the barrage after losing the point means they don't even have that in their back pocket. This is looking like a fast cap to me.
Yeah, and they're going to be walking through here. Brickwall, though, did find Nodlin. Brickwall completely nice and secure away, looking for the picks right now. They're dodging them without even realizing it, but Paradise Aegis are going to win this fight out easily. Minibur onto that Diva.
That really feels lucky for Paradise Aegis, because Frost Surge had every advantage coming into this. They had the snowball. If they were able to get through that teleporter and close the distance, they'd have all their ultimates in a second. Paradise Aegis bought themselves a little bit of life here and potentially stalled the snowball that I really thought was about to come.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just because they stalled it out for a little bit longer. Gave Paradise Aegis some time to regroup. Now they're going to be sending it on high ground. We're getting a little bit of deja vu right here as the Amplification Matrix comes on yet again. And Maywell trying to block things out here, but this time it's going to be a sim field. Uh-oh, it's an Anode Reinhardt in that they got to deal with here. Booze trying to make that one valuable, but unable to get too much. Ricey, meanwhile, did find Lockback in the air. I talked about how hard it is. Blizzard committed onto the point, going to freeze Bob right up as we see the Reinhardt try to escape, but Booze is just going to get completely destroyed here. Frost Surge capitalizing on their frosty ultimates. Just like that, they should be winning this one out. Still, though, picks are coming through. Lockback and Brickwall might be able to win this one back. No one has dealt with Capibino. Next step, Winter's Bomb is going to do just that. And now they got to deal with a Winston in Booze right now. The Stall Heroes are coming in online, but Winter just absolutely winning this one out for the team. Well, not just quite yet. They're able to stall things out for a decent amount of time, but as the rest of the members are going to be falling down, we should see this quick cap coming in. Stall Heroes still coming in. Brickwall, able to find Nodlin and Ricey. This one is still alive for Paradise Aegis. They might be able to turn this around, Spooky.
Yeah, unfortunately for Frost Surge, no supports. You know, Winter did his absolute best to pull this one out, to capture, try and capture that point, getting multiple kills, somehow catching Cap and Emo in that self-destruct, but at the end of the day, there's just not enough healing. The spawn advantage is too strong for Paradise Aegis. And both teams just threw everything they had against that. These old charges are not looking optimistic.
Yeah. Back to square one, honestly.
Still, square one for Locknack isn't that far from a barrage, apparently. Coming up almost to 100%, just pumping in damage to this rush composition. This barrage is going to come out.
Oh, once again, a little bit of deja vu here. Amplification Matrix, as well as the no mortality field dumped into it. Locknack not getting too much value, but already back up to 40% for alt charge here. Frost Surge taking a moment of a reprieve. Take a second, regroup themselves, heal up before they try to push this one again. This time, Ricey getting close to a little bit of a blizzard, and we saw how devastating that was last time. Now freezing up the Reinhardt here, but the Reinhardt fell off the edge and was able to survive as a result. Still, the Shatter does come through. Meanwhile, Rinter finding Lockback, Nodlin giving, Mini Burr a little bit of a ride, able to get the health back there, but a Blizzard is going to be dumped onto the point. The Ana is going to be flying through into the Blizzard. Going for a chilly day, but now they had to deal with this far up into the air. It's gonna be a little bit difficult for the team, but Zura says that's okay. I've got a BR and I'm happy to use it. Zura right now keeping this alive, almost back up to yet another Amplification Matrix as well. Star Heroes coming in once again. Is Paradise Aegis gonna be able to do it? Thank goodness Zura's got the moon boots there. Winter once again just doing absolute work. And Well, a little bit of a C9 coming in, but regardless, Frost Surge just beating out the Paradise Time Bank, but by about 8 seconds.
I mean, Paradise just had lost. They were just buying whatever time they could, and suddenly both teams very, very closely matched going into the overtime. But Marcus, a lot of times this overtime with this little time left in the time banks is really decided by the point A. Your point B doesn't really matter that much. You really won't get there most of the time. Incredible snowball. Gonna need to see something a little bit better out of Paradise Aegis on the defense if they want to run away with this one. They're gonna be the ones on the attacking side first, just because of the smaller time bank. And we're seeing strong adaptions coming out from Frost Surge. You know, they're ready for the teleport strategy this time. They're playing a composition that can be a little bit more close ranged. On the other side, Paradise Aegis, they're teasing us with the Lochnack Farah.
The Loch Ness Farah, yes.
The Loch Ness Farah, but it's not going to work with the teleporter composition. No. There's really no way, especially when Frost Surge are running this very close quarters classic rush that will just run over any members of Paradise Aegis who manage to go through the teleport.
Yeah, and right now, Zura and Ricey have been doing a good job of keeping Lochnack in check on that Farah. See how it pulls out this time. We can already see Lochnack kind of just dump in damage in the back line. Kind of effective here. They go in to try and stall things out. Unfortunately, the support isn't able to make their way around here. Still, one tick out already. This is looking decent here, but Paradise Aegis are finding the picks that they need right now. And just like that, they should be able to get point number 1 here. As it looks like the rest of the Frost Surge, well, they're not around anymore. Still a couple picks coming through, but Brick Wall on the Symmetra has done more than enough, as that's point number 1.
And Marcus, I have no clue why I keep doubting Lochnack on Farah. It's like time and time again, I'm like, Farah doesn't fit in this composition. Like, Lochnack should be playing something else. Lochnack should never play anything else. I don't know why I even suggested it. This guy is
the Hanzo's a pretty good pick.
This guy's so freaking good on this hero that he can force it into compositions where it shouldn't work and just open up fights. Like, people aren't prepared to play against it, people aren't ready for the rockets all the time, and all of a sudden Paradise Aegis, they get another tick!
They've already gotten away with 1 tick. Finally, Frost Surge are able to make their way onto point, but this is going to be the team fight to really see how this goes here. Lochnack finds Nodlin, but Ricey takes Lochnack out for the trade. An Immortality Field on the floor right now. High Noon activated. Ricey looking for something, finds nothing but barrier. Great reflexes coming in. Ricey really trying to just keep it all alive in the background as there's a slam on the point right now. Uh-oh, Nodlin goes in for the charge, is met with a booze, but this is coming out right now. All Paradise Aegis all day. Still, Nodlin does find Boo's gonna be slamming right down on top of that head. Still, Cabanimo mess up the Glock. Quick little 2K as Lochnack finds Ricey yet again. The Paradise Aegis are making this a little bit of a commanding lead. Blizzard invested onto the point here. Cabanimo trying to keep everybody alive, but the Blizzard might have been way too much pressure for just this DPS lineup still. Paradise Aegis were able to get 2 points, 2 ticks on the clock. They've got heroes coming back as well. They might still win this one out just yet as Lochnack finds Zura in the background, stops Winter from getting that remake. Hidden gonna be, that's gonna be Nodlin rolling around here trying to stall things out. Ricey in a little bit of trouble up top, gets taken out by Minibur's and giant mech arms. Now, Paradise Miniber throwing out the self-destruct onto the point as well as Paradise Aegis look to close this one out. We are in overtime right now. Winter flying back onto the site, trying to make this one work out. Does have that self-destruct in the pocket, gonna be launching that out. Let's see if it finds anybody here. Doesn't find anybody as finally Paradise Aegis close that one out. Oh my goodness, Spooky, what a fight.
I'm just getting started.
It's just Paradise Aegis coming out incredibly strong there at the end, where it really matters. You know, the opening half had some questionable decisions from Paradise Aegis, but they come out incredibly strong on the offense, and now it's really Frost Surge in the back seat. It's not going to be easy to match this time bank. We're looking like, dare I say it, it's a little bit early, but Marks, we might be ending up with another map 5.
Uh-oh. You hate to see it, but at the same time, it's entirely possible. Let's see if Frost Surge are able to win this one out, because if they're able to cap this, then we might get a tie. Dare I say that one? I know. I sent shivers down everybody's spine. But here we go. Very classic composition coming out of Paradise Aegis. No Winston this time, Spooky.
Mini Bird teased it. We saw a little bit of Winston at the beginning. But yeah, going over to the Diva, I think is much, much better. Really is able to do everything the Winston would do in this composition, in keeping space, having the mobility, being able to contest people on point. Everything you wanted the Winston to do earlier, Diva does it better. Specifically, just having that defense matrix to draw a little bit of the damage off as well. But now, we're going to see if Frost Surge will be able to match this time, get the teleporter out, but Locknack all the way halfway to the ultimate.
Absolutely ridiculous. Minibur already found a Ricey. Paradise Aegis say no to this charge this time. Paradise winning it out right now. Locknack able to find Zura. Nautilin, though, trades it back onto Booze. Minibur, though, finding that one as well. And they should be able to stop this pressure as Antagonized just in the back 1v1ing against the Diva. Is going to lose that one out. Does have the pistol, though. And Cabanemo finds the pick there. Cabanemo is just turning it up with that Glock on Mercy right now, Spooky.
Yeah, Cabanemo, you know, we've been talking about a lot about Locknack as being the most dangerous one in the sky, but Cabanemo hasn't been doing bad for themselves either. And now, back to the drawing board for Frost Surge, a minute off the clock, half their time gone, and they just have to force the teleporter again.
Here we go, teleporting onto site. Uh-oh, where's that turret going? Doesn't even matter, they're able to run over a brick wall back there. Now throwing the turrets onto this point here. Antagonized getting ready to set up. The Mortality Field already broken and expended. A couple of ultimates in their pocket shortly if Antagonized can get it. Here we go. Booze, though, does find Naudilin's noggin. Locknack uses the barrage here, but the trades are going 1-for-1 right now. A res comes in online, which could be huge for Paradise. But finally, it looks like Frost Surge are going to be winning this one out. Cabanemo can't win out the gun duel this time, as they've got just under a minute to get to point number 2 now.
Yeah, they're gonna have to speed their way forward. It's got to be something potentially with Ricey's Blizzard, even comboed with a self-destruct from Winter, and potentially we'll be going into even more overtime. But it's all do or die here. They've got the teleporter. They're pushing their way onto point, but they got to cap all the way.
Oh, and look at this. The Blizzard committed absolutely early. A self-destruct goes in as well, able to block that one out. They've already gotten a single tick here, but Paradise, oh, they're just lining him up and knocking him down. Not even a chance here. Winter out of mech. Nautilin finally falls onto the point as well, but this is all coming up Paradise right now, Spooky.
Yeah, I mean, they've won. There's really not much they can do. They're even stalling out Winter to the last bits of time here.
Oh!
And yeah, nothing. Can't even touch.
Whew. Okay, Paradise Aegis tying the series up 2-2 now. Oh boy, Spooky. We're going to map number 5 between these two teams. Oh my goodness. Honestly, it is still incredibly close.
Yeah, really neck and neck. And it's just slowly seeming to turn the corner. You know, the scales are very, very slightly tipping in the favor of Paradise Aegis now. But every single map has really been incredibly close. But it's starting to see, you know, just really, it seems like just keep Locknack on the Pharah, because it doesn't seem like Frost Surge have anything to deal with that. And again, it makes sense. You know, Frost Surge, very coordinated, rush preferring team. They want to play on the ground. And generally, the strategy for a rush team against a Pharah is kill everyone on the ground and ignore the Pharah. So it just hasn't quite been working so far. Locknack able to put just so much consistent damage, and not to mention Cabanemo, his partner in crime, both keeping him up and swinging in with the Glock. I wonder if we can get the final blow stats for Cabanemo in that last match.
Cabanemo was on the kill feed more than I would have expected. I can at least say that. I definitely saw at least 6. So, you know, that says something. But Locknack on the Pharah, like you said, just getting so much value. And even when they didn't have the Mercy pocket, was still able to get so much. Obviously, Mercy pocketing Pharah just makes natural sense in Overwatch. But still, I think that what you said there has a lot of value, because Well, it's working out for them. And obviously, I know that you're more of a Lochnack Farah type of guy, and I tend to be a Lochnack Hanzo type of guy. But still, I can't deny the fact that if Raw Surge want to continue to play this rush, they really have to be careful of Lochnack because that is the piece that is dismembering their entire team right now.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Marks, it's map 5. Map
It
five's
is.
control.
Oh boy.
It's going to be incredibly difficult to actually continue to run the Farah, or it's going to be really risky because it really depends on winning the first map, or at least the first battle of the point, where you can actually set up the Farah in a defensive position. So it's going to really depend if Paradise just want to continue running this kind of strategy, run Lochnack on that Farah. They're going to have to come out of the gate strong. On the other hand, Frost Surge running the classic rush composition, if they're able to just touch the point, if they're able to capture, they don't really have to win anymore. They have enough sustain. They can just keep building up the percentage and really potentially get to like 70, 80% without actually winning a fight, just based off their heroes being able to stand strong on the objective.
Yeah, and that honestly does make quite a bit of a difference. We saw that happen previously with Paradise Aegis kind of going for a little bit more of a stationary composition, but still, it's map number 5. A lot of options on the board. Regardless, we're going to be throwing to yet another break, but you're not going to want to go anywhere. Will Paradise Aegis be able to pull off the reverse sweep? Well, you're going to have to come back in a couple and find out. So we'll see you guys in a bit. Welcome back, everybody, to the Hyperion Cup. It's week number 2, and we've got Paradise Aegis up against Frost Surge. And Buki, it's 2-2 right now. We're going to map number 5. Break down what we've been watching so far between these two teams and a potential reverse sweep in the mix right now.
Potentially, yeah, Mark's Frost Surge coming out very strong, looking a little bit more coordinated, and their composition style generally matches that as well. Playing a lot of these pseudo rush, a lot of these regular rush as well, both with the Winston 6-man dive kind of thing, as well as just the Reinhardt May Cassidy compositions as well. So it's very much these very built, practiced, play together, run someone over compositions, and it worked very, very well for the first 2 maps. But Paradise Aegis, who've been playing a little bit more fast, a little bit more loose, really all over the place. They've been playing a lot of the Pharah, Lochnac specifically being very impressive. Starting to turn the corner on that 3rd map on Blizzard World, and then continuing to put on a pretty dominant performance at the end there in Hanamura. Finally bring us to the map 5, but both these teams have been very, very close. And like I was saying earlier, it just feels like the scales are tipping very slightly in favor of Paradise Aegis.
Yeah, very slightly. Let's see if that is going to be enough, as we are going to be going to Nepal for our final map. So this is for all the marbles. Will Frost Surge be able to dethrone the previous champions of the Hyperion Cup? This is where we're going to find out. Let's see how this goes, Spooky.
I'm not feeling great about Paradise, Mark.
Uh-oh.
just everything we've been saying so far about the styles, the compositions, the much closer together consolidated style of Frost Surge, I think is going to prove it's going to serve them very, very well on these control maps. And we can already see both teams running almost mirror compositions, only difference being that off tank. So far, we've seen a lot more success from Frost Surge out of this comp than Paradise Aegis.
Yeah, we definitely have, but hey, this time around, let's see how it goes. Lochnac not choosing to go with the Pharah this time, actually going to be on the May. Meanwhile, Scarrow going to be booping everyone over here, and well, we're going to see some Symmetra gameplay shortly.
Yeah, both teams sticking on the Symmetra, not just using them for the teleporter. Let's see who uses their ice walls the best. It looks like it might be Paradise Aegis.
Yeah, it's great isolation coming in there. Noblin got so close to falling down. Regardless, Symmetra happy to eat up the turrets, and Paradise Aegis are going to make their way on point first, so definitely an advantage coming to them. If Frost Devil want to push into this, they're going to have to deal with massive amounts of damage coming in from above. An excellent isolation wall, but Zura's got those moon boots, can make sure to pump in the healing even when up top. Though Paradise Aegis with the first cap, making this one work. Oh no, Noblin gets frozen mid-charge, and now an Amplification Matrix just for good measure. Can be pumping out damage now. We see the rotation come in from behind, but this is looking like Paradise Aegis are going to be in the driver's seat for this point.
Yeah, and part of that might actually be the Sigma coming out from Frost Surge is going to keep Brick Wall always charged up. But the fight's not quite over yet, and it looks like the ultimates coming out from Frost Surge are enough to actually flip this one around.
Goodness me!
So much damage coming out from the team, but a lot of ultimates committed to make that one work.
It was a very expensive fight, but going into the next one, they're going to have to watch out for Lochnac's Blizzard, first and foremost. Maybe Brickwall getting the Photon Barrier online as well, but Noblin still has this Shatter, so potential to shut things down. Ricey also close to a Blizzard as well. So let's see how this kind of turns out here, Spooky.
Yeah, the difference might actually be Brickwall's Photon Barrier, allowing a lot more cover on the point for Paradise Aegis. The Ice Wall comes out, but doesn't isolate anyone. But the Blizzard gets eaten.
Oh, Blizzard. No Blizzard online. That's not going to be good. Oh, it's frozen mid-shatter. Taking him out completely. Minneberg going to be falling back as well. But still, the ice is just too strong right now. Ricey really clutching this one up for the team here. Still, Frost Surge are not out of it just quite yet. It's almost an even trade between the two on the point right now. But Scarrow's coming up absolutely massive and now has a Photon Barrier of the road. Still, Miniver on the Diva in the background is going to take Ricey out. Still, Frost Surge, they're going to hold on to this one. And a couple of ultimates starting to come online here.
again, it's a great start for Paradise Aegis that just kind of, you know, dribbles away, peters out. Just what happened? Why, they just can't keep the momentum going. They continuously come in strong, get these picks, get so much momentum, but then they can't hold on to it, unfortunately. And now we are going to go to a quick pause. I don't think Boo is a magician. Maybe a ghost, depending on his name. It just disappears out of thin air.
Speaking of falling behind, hey, it looks like they weren't able to hold on to connection either word. So we do have a little bit of a DC. We're gonna work at getting them back, but you know what? I can't remember whether or not the alt charge would get fully reset there. Still quite a bit of ultimates online for both of these teams here, but Frost Surge, after losing that first point, I just want to really commend them for how quickly they clapped back onto Paradise and just ran over them. They invested a lot of ultimates there, but ultimately it did work out for them. They got enough charge for the second fight as well. And right now, Frost Surge are looking pretty strong, Spooky.
And I think the point is Frost Surge played conservatively enough that they never actually lost the fight. They lost the point.
Yeah,
absolutely, for sure. But they didn't lose the fight. They lost a member, maybe two, but they were able to keep enough members alive to keep generating that ult charge that they actually beat Aegis to these impactful ults and were able to just swing it around, and they have not let go of the point since.
And here we go. Boo's gonna be back in the game now. Resets all that alt charge.
Yeah,
let's see if another disappearing act.
He's coming out of spawn. It just forces them into last fight territory.
And there we go. Already they're just getting into this absolute brawl. Brick wall though coming up big onto Nodlin. Now taking out the immortality field as well. Scarrow though trades it back onto Booz here. Still, Hyperion invested as well. Trying to keep it up. Now everybody's going to be up into the air as they get frozen up into the blizzard. Talk about alt comboing coming in from Frost Surge. You can't teach that one right now. And that's going to be point number one going to Frost Surge.
Yeah, and it was like I was saying, Marks. On these rush compositions, Frost Surge reigns supreme. They seem much more comfortable on it. They're willing to wait. They're willing to combo these ultimates together. Meanwhile, Paradise Aegis, they don't want to play like that. They want to get as much impact as quickly as possible. They want to pop off individually. It's just the stylistic difference coming out of these teams. What they prefer to do is putting the ball into Frost Surge's court.
Yeah, and now different compositions coming in from both of these teams. We're going to have a dive up against a double shield. It's based off of this. Which one do you think is going to come out on top, Spooky?
Already, Marks, we saw this before during Blizzard World. I do think Frost Surge's dive is favored in this fight, but this is do or die for Paradise Aegis now. Frost Surge on the brink of taking this one away from the reigning champs.
Here we go. Starting this one out, Cabadozer does fall down nice and early here. Brickwall just looking around for that Sombra. So they're working as a coordinated unit right now. Ricey could be laying in a little bit of damage. TP's out of that one, throws down the TP once again, but Boo's found Winter. Now this is looking like Paradise should be able to make their way on a point and potentially set up here as Booz is going to be leading this charge here. So the point is contested right now. They got to deal with a little pesky Lucio as well as a Reaper. But this could be deadly if they don't have the rest of the team as Lockjack falls down to a DPS Moira potentially in the form of Zura, but Cabadozer knocks Booz off. Nodlin goes in for Miniber, and now the DPS is going to be on a line here. Frost Surge, they lost the point at the start, but they're happy to flip it right back around.
Yeah, despite losing their Lucio early and just kind of floundering for a bit without that speed, Zura and Nodlin were actually able to find Lockneck in the back, still find a little bit of that dive, and that's the beginning of turning the corner. Add on to Booz just going over the edge, another form of disappearing act, not one he particularly enjoy. But that is gonna keep Frost Surge in this, and Ricey has been just putting in the damage, 80% up to that EMP. That can bust a bunker any day of the week.
Ricey getting pressured out immediately, has to back out here. Looks like these teams kind of switched places here. Coalescence online, Cabadozer finds one with a boop. Now, keeping the team nice and healthy, as well as inflicting damage. Immortality Field dropped in as well, falling extremely low into their back line. Paradise Aegis dropped down the Amplification Matrix, pumping in damage hidden once again. Still though, they are going to be winning out this fight by the looks of things. Ricey falls down to Locknack's arrows as Booze finds Scarrow as well. We see Nodlin pop the Primal Rage, but Brickwall is just in the backline, and this soldier has just been doing so much consistent damage. Now Nodlin trying to stall that one out, but it will flip around as Paradise Aegis finally get a little bit of a foothold.
Yeah, but that was a lot of time to take back that point with the rotations, with the stall coming out. And now Paradise Aegis, they're going to have to figure out where they want to set up to actually hold this one. Ricey and Scarrow, the DPS duo with their signature combo, are coming. And I'm not sure if there's much to do to stop it. Brickwall's in the backline with the tactical visor, hoping to keep his team alive here. And he's gonna force out Ricey. It doesn't force out the EMP, but it buys some time here. That's gonna be something Frost Surge don't care. They don't need the EMP. They just force their way forward.
Yeah, and Paradise Aegis definitely respected that. They back off, their EMP coming out. That's only a 3-man this time, but now Scarrow's going to be just sliding in. Does find a 1 with the shotguns there, but it was enough pressure to push them back. As, well, that's just going to be a cleanup coming in from Frost Surge. We do have to deal with Booze as well as Capanemo on the point, but that's not going to be too big of a problem. Yeah, push him up into the air. That takes a little bit more time to die as they flip this one back around.
It's not quite as flashy as usual, but does get the job done. Scarrow and Ricey with those DPS ultimates. Now 70% for Frost Surge, double support ults, and nothing in the tank for Paradise Aegis. And even though ultimates they are building up to the bomb, the Dragon Strike really aren't that impactful. And Zura is ready to pull the trigger on the Coalescence.
Coalescence coming in, as well as a little bit of a hack. Miniber going to be tossing in the self-destruct into the back line. Get some space here. Unfortunately, doesn't get too much. The Dragon Strike just got eaten by Winter, and now Winter going to be popping off on D.Va once again. It's all falling apart for Paradise Aegis. Everybody is nice and low, just like Frost Surge want them. We're in overtime now, and well, turns out it is in fact a cold day in hell for Paradise Aegis as the brick wall gets pressured off, and just like that, Spooky, it looks like we might be able to finally see Frost Surge pull this one back into their grip. They're going to win this one out. Still, the stall's still coming online right now as Nodlin actually went for a little bit of a dip. That could have been a very critical mistake here. The Wrecking Ball does finally fall down here. The longer this fight burns out, yeah, just like that, that's going to be Frost Surge winning out this series 3-2 against Paradise Aegis.
Yeah, but what a match overall. Frost Surge coming out strong at the end, but I don't think that takes away from the fight we saw all throughout this night, Marks. Paradise Aegis just really doing their absolute best, and honestly, this may just show the quality of the tournament coming forward, because for just for a regular group stage game, that was a slob knocker.
It was. I've never heard those words, slob knocker, before. However, I would 100% agree because that was neck and neck. Frost Surge definitely turned it up and were able to turn it around, but Paradise Aegis were looking real dangerous for just a second. But we do have to pick an MVP here, Spooky. So, what's scratch your noggin there?
We've seen some fantastic plays from the DPS. Yeah. I'm sure I've said before, I don't think supports get enough love, Marks. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to pick an MVP from Frost Surge, it's got to be Winter. Just fantastic play on the off tank, time and time again, clutching it up for their team, and earning a few play of the games along the way as well. I really do think Winter was the difference maker for Frost Surge and was the person who was able to keep the team in the game during the most crucial moments. So definitely got to pick Winter as my MVP.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there, Winter. Just once again, those on D.Va, just an absolute menace. Would hate to play against that in any of my ranked games, but we're going to be throwing to a quick break.
It's fine. I don't think Winter's in bronze, buddy.
Ouch. You really had to do me like that, didn't you?
Let's go to break.
Oh, see you guys in a minute. Welcome back, everybody. We are at the Hyperion Cup, week number 2. Paradise Aegis up against Frost Surge. Frost Surge squeaking it out 3-2, and now we are joined in the booth by Winter, our selected MVP. And Winter, how you doing after that match?
I'm sweating a little, that's for sure. That was a Aegis. You're all are crazy. That was a thriller. Like honestly, I don't know a better way I could have spent that time.
It was absolutely a close match for sure.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch. But me and Marks were sitting up here in the caster, and we've got to say, we were talking a lot about Lochnack on the Pharah. I've got to ask, how was it actually playing against Paradise Aegis and their really split up composition with the threats coming from every single angle at all times?
It was definitely a challenge. Like it was definitely something to think about. Because like there were times where you need to go do something as D.Va, like you're looking for eating a certain cooldown and then you forget about the Pharah and then suddenly your backline's dead. So it's just kind of like playing like a game of juggling. There were some good, some not so good moments, but you know what, it was good enough to squeak out the W, I guess.
And that's what counts. And I did actually want to commend you because a lot of ults got eaten during these matches, and it was because of you playing D.Va there. So what do you do when you are playing D.Va and you're able to just like get those, like sap up those ults? What's the indication for you to spin around and turn on that defense matrix?
So usually it's actually more about planning ahead because before Surge, I played not very much D.Va. I was mostly Sig and Zarya. So one of the big things I had to learn as D.Va is you have to be a lot more proactive. And it's definitely about like it's a lot easier to eat when you know it's coming. And so as a team we're kind of ult tracking, but like when someone calls that there's a certain ult, it's a lot easier to play around it because you can always kind of try to stay in range to be able to play off that and get the eat. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There are some close ones, but sometimes it's just about being in the right place at the right time and knowing that it's coming.
Fair enough.
Fantastic answer, Winter. Throughout the match, I think Marcus and I were commenting about how close together, how coordinated Frost Surge really looks as a team. Do you guys have a specific shot caller? How do you guys make decisions so quickly on the fly?
Well, the truth is, no one can hear over the sound of each other's voices.
It's just a mad scramble.
But it's definitely like, about kind of like breaking it down, like talk about a plan before the fight, try and execute on that. Someone calls a target and we listen for that. So that, there are times where we, call 6 targets at the same time, 6 different ones. And, like you got to like brush it down at some point, like everyone's got to kind of focus up. So it's about listening down to the person we're supposed to be listening down to is actually Ty. Neldon.
Not even sure who you should be listening to.
No, forgot his tag for a second. But yeah, it's usually Neldon or Scaro making those calls, and it's about listening down. So we listen for other opportunities if we can find someone jump on it, but otherwise it's really just focusing down and not getting distracted.
Well, it certainly seems to work for you guys. I think that's all of our questions here, Marks. Winter, we just want to give you the floor to shout out anyone you may want to. And last time from us, congratulations on your win tonight.
Thanks so much, you guys. Shout out to everyone in Permafrost. Y'all are the best cheerleaders. Zeno for making the meme that we finally made come true. Just everyone that supported us. Shout out to Aegis for a great match. And especially for Jarvissimo, our coach. Always, keeping our heads in the game.
Absolutely. Well, once again, congratulations to Frost Surge. You have defeated the previous champions of the Hyperion Cup. So make sure to send our congratulations back to the rest of the team. And thank you for joining us in the booth, Winter.
Thanks for having me, you guys.
All right. And just like that, we are at the end of the night. Frost Surge up against Paradise Aegis, 3-2 victory. It's week number 2 of the Hyperion Cup. This is casted by myself, Marks, alongside Spooky, produced and observed by Oakley. And Spooky, got any final words for us before we close things out?
Play video, play video, play video.
You know what's coming.
You're not even using the emote when you say that either. But yes, we do a video. Oakley should be queuing that one up. So that's going to do it for us for tonight. So thank you all for tuning in. You're going to want to make sure to follow the Hyperion channel as this cup continues on. Because, hey, if today's any evidence, the games are going to be fantastic. So here comes the video. But have a good night, everybody.